welcome to the Career Cafe. My name is Shiloh Robinson and I am a new student and marketing specialist here at Montana State University Billings.
And my name is Brittany Smith and I'm a new student specialist here at Montana State University Billings.
So welcome, we're so excited to be talking to you today. The Career Cafe, every Tuesday and Thursday, we're featuring different departments or programs here at MSU Billings that you can go into to study here. So today's is education. We're super excited to talk to you guys about our education programs. And to kick it off, we are going to start with actually an interview that our Director of New Student Services, Kristen Peterman, did with one of our alumni.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining us. My name is Kristen Peterman, Director of New Student Services here at MSU Billings, and today I am so excited to be joined by Mrs. Paige Beeler, who is a kindergarten teacher here in Billings, Montana, and an alum of MSU Billings. So Mrs. Beeler, tell us a little bit about why you chose MSUB.
Well, I am from Billings. I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school here in Billings, and then I continued on and did college here in Billings as well. So I was here because of family. It was affordable. I lived on campus. I got my job there. All of it was in one place. And I'm so thankful I did. Saved money, but also got the education that I needed, and ended up here, a place that I love, doing the things that I love.
That's awesome. So when you came to MSU Billings, was education what you knew you wanted to study?
No, it wasn't, but it is the best thing that I stumbled upon ever. So began nursing, was part of the track community there, and jumped into education when I found nursing wasn't for me. Jumped in with a bunch of my friends who loved it, and I wanted to see why. So since joining into that, the first time I stepped into a classroom, I haven't turned back, and I am doing what I love.
Awesome. So when you first stepped into a classroom, were you still a student? Was it part of like internship and practicum? So tell us a little bit about that experience and how it helped you as you transitioned into your full-time job.
Absolutely. So stepping into a classroom during junior field, which is one of the first times that we will go into a classroom and submerge ourselves around with the kids and all of the education, classroom, everything surrounding us. We will go in during junior field, get our hours in, also create lessons, do lessons with those students, and that's everything. That is exactly where you need to be to learn the things that you need to learn to jump into a classroom and take over that classroom yourself. Moving on into student teaching, where you become that full-time teacher for a while with your mentor teacher. Absolutely the place that you need to be before you decide, is this what you really want to do? And gladly, you get to do that in your junior year, so that you have that, you can make that decision and you have plenty of time to make that choice.
So going into your junior field and your student teaching and then your full-time career, did you feel prepared? What did you gain from being a student at MSU Billings that you felt like you were ready to tackle this?
Yes, absolutely. So you gain everything. So jumping into a classroom and having that mentor teacher and that advisor that follows you and supervises you gives you all the insight that you need to definitely decide wholeheartedly if you're in this job. It is a full-time commitment. You are here for those kids, and it takes a lot of your life, but in a very, very good way. So having those advisors and mentors there to guide you in those ways is absolutely crucial. And I can look back and say my mentor teachers made me the teacher that I am today.
So for someone that's thinking maybe MSU Billings or even just maybe education in general, what advice would you give them? If they're a high school student or maybe somebody thinking about coming back to school and they're thinking about this plunge, what tips and tricks would you have for them?
For education especially, the moment that you step into a classroom, take advantage of that time. You have been given that opportunity through MSUB to go into a classroom and submerge yourself in that. Go above and beyond. Be there anytime that you can, more hours than possible, but really take that time MSUB is giving you to be in a classroom, because that is where you're going to learn the most. Definitely stick with it and work your best to be in that classroom as much as possible.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. We so appreciate you and are so proud of the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's so great. I love seeing what our alumni are up to, especially if they stuck around here in Billings. She definitely seemed like a really fun kindergarten teacher, so I was really glad to see her excitement for the program and all of what it had to offer. I just want to remind you, if you have any questions, you can ask us in the chat feature. I know that there's like a little chat icon in the top corner, so click on that and we'll be able to help you out. But we'll hop into talking a little bit about about MSU Billings. So we were founded in 1927. We're located here in Billings, Montana. There are 5 colleges across 2 campuses, and we have over 4,000 students enrolled in numerous programs.
Awesome. So here at MSUB, we are a little bit smaller, obviously. So our faculty to student ratio is actually 1 to 14. So you really get to know those professors. Additionally, if you have any questions, 88% of our faculty have the highest degree in their field. So you know you're asking an expert more than likely when you have a question in class or you need something explained a little bit differently. None of our classes are taught by graduate assistants, which at the university level is amazing. And additionally, our average class size is around 23. So especially when you get into those upper division classes, you really get to know your classmates and your peers that you're going through these programs with.
We do have 2 residence halls. They're located here on the university campus. So whether you're on one of our 2 campuses, this would be where you would live. And we have over 50 student clubs and organizations across both campuses. We have 16 NCAA Division II athletic sports teams. We are a part of the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. And then we also have intramural sports and recreational activities for anyone who is just looking at maybe staying active, but not participating in one of those 16 NCAA Division II sports teams.
For sure. Obviously, Montana State University Billings, we're located here in Montana, which is big sky country. So if you are from out of state, our population is a little over 1 million at the last census. So we have quite a bit of land and not too many people. So definitely lots of opportunities to get exercise in. Outside of intramurals, we are home to 2 national parks. So we have the entrance to Yellowstone National Park on the southern side of the state. And then up in the northwest, we have Glacier National Park, which is absolutely stunning. You have to check it out when you're here. Outside of that, though, 55 state parks throughout our state. So really, you're always around something where you can go, you know, hiking, biking, get outdoors. 8 federally recognized tribes and 7 reservations here in Montana. So a bit of diversity coming in there. Here at MSU Billings, we also have quite a large international community as well. And then something fun about Montana is you do get all 4 seasons. We kind of dipped our toes into winter, but we're back to fall right now. It's been a little bit warmer, no snow. But my favorite part of Montana is that we have a very deep, rich history that I don't think a lot of people know about that I think is just so much fun to explore.
So as I mentioned before, we are located in Billings. Billings is the largest city here in the state of Montana. We are the big city. We have the largest school district, which is really important, especially as we heard in the video this morning, just a little bit earlier, that there's opportunities here at MSU Billings to get into the classroom. And so with us being located in Billings, with the largest school district, there's so many opportunities for you to get connected, get plugged in, and get some experience and see if education really is what you want to study. We have a ton of internship opportunities in all of our programs. And then additionally, we're right next to the 2 largest hospital systems in the region. So if there is a change, I know that our alum this morning mentioned that she started off in nursing and then moved to education. Some people do the opposite. So there's tons of opportunities there. We also have 3 major refineries, and that comes into play a lot with some of our city college programs as well.
Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and segue right into the College of Education, which is where as an education student you will be housed. Little different between primary and secondary, which we'll touch base on just a little bit. But to kick things off, I got the chance to sit down and talk to one of our professors, Rachel Waller. So here is my interview with her. Hi everyone, right now I'm sitting down with Dr. Rachel Waller, who is one of our professors over in the College of Education. So hello.
Hello.
Thank you for meeting with me today. So MSUB really wants to get our students out and about and in the community and doing hands-on education as soon as they can. So how do we see this in the College of Education?
We see this in the College of Education in lots of different ways. First of all, as when you're a sophomore, you will do a sophomore practicum experience, and students work with community organizations. Another example is our junior field experience. So junior year, you also have a field experience in the school, and then the last semester of your education is your student teaching. So you'll be working one-on-one with the teacher in an actual classroom quite a bit. Right now we're sitting in the reading clinic at MSUB, and all elementary majors take this class. It's called Literacy Assessment, and you will be tutoring kids from our community in reading.
Okay, awesome. So definitely out and about early on here. And how exactly do classes work if you're interested in maybe like a secondary degree compared to a primary degree, since secondary is in a different college as well as a COE?
Yep. So if you get a secondary degree, you'll be working with another college, and examples would be like, say, science, social studies, math. And so you'll actually have two advisors, one from the College of Ed, one from a different college. For example, I advise art students in our college, so they meet with both me and someone from art, and we help them together. We work as a team to make sure you get all of the classes you need.
Okay, perfect. And what does the career outlook look like right now with the degree from the College of Education?
There's actually a teaching shortage right now in Montana and in many areas of the nation, so there's a very good prospect for getting a job.
Okay, perfect. And then obviously this is one of our colleges that has quite a few master's degrees. So what are we seeing students go into for a master's when they're returning to school?
Okay, we have several options for master's degrees. Reading is one, so you can get a reading endorsement, an added-on endorsement at the master's level. You can also do that at the undergrad level as well.
Cool, okay.
And so that's popular. Special ed is very popular.
Okay.
And school counseling is also very popular. We also have an applied behavioral analysis program, which is in the special education program, but it's specifically working with behaviors.
Okay. And then both online and on campus classes over here?
A lot of our programs are online, but we do have in-campus or on-campus classes as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
You're welcome. Thanks.
That's so helpful. I really enjoy hearing from experts in the field. Again, if you have any questions, please just let us know. But we'll dig in a little bit more with the different degrees and programs that are a part of the College of Education. So we have a Bachelor of Science in Education and Special Education. So there's the ability to specialize there. There's a Master's of Education in Special Education as well as our post-baccalaureate teacher licensure. So that'll be a non-degree that happens after
So
the
you
degree.
have your BA, Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science in one of our other programs or another college's program, and then you would essentially just get the licensure to teach. So
Perfect.
yeah, just add it on.
Shiloh was an education major, so I always will defer to her in terms of education questions. And then there's the post-baccalaureate endorsement, which I'm assuming is very similar. And then we also have a supervisor post-master's endorsement. So you would have to have that master's degree to start, and then there would be that, after you have that, there would be the supervisor endorsement. So that's some of that information there.
Yes. So some of the focus areas that we offer here at MSU Billings, if you're looking more towards secondary or K through 12 education, so we have that art K through 12 licensure that you could get, English, which is what I majored in here at MSU Billings and through the College of Education, K through 12 PE and health, history, math. We have music here, science. So these programs, unlike the primary education programs where you'd take classes in kind of everything and come together so you could teach, kindergarten to 8th grade. This would be more, you focus on these areas, so you would teach middle school or high school instead. So I got to sit down with one of our secondary students, Brenna, who is currently finishing up her student teaching. She's very, very close to being done. So we'll go ahead and throw it to my interview with her. She was a science student. Hi everyone, today I am remotely interviewing Brenna Beckett, who is one of our students who is currently student teaching through the College of Education. Brenna, can you tell us kind of how you got to the point of student teaching?
Yeah, so once I declared secondary science education as one of my majors, I started the track to become a teacher. So it started out with some intro to ed classes just to make sure that, education is something that I truly was interested in, give me a taste of what my future career would be like. And then as time progressed, I got to start spending time in classrooms. So First, it was just observing, and then I taught a couple lessons. Then I got to my junior field, so I was to spend 65 hours, I believe, in the classroom, teach 3 lessons, write some papers on them, just spend time with kids, be immersed in the classroom. And then to cap off my ed degree, I am student teaching for 14 weeks out at Honey Project.
Awesome. And you're almost done, correct? The last few days?
I am, yeah. So I have, I think like 2.5 weeks left. So it's winding down.
Awesome. So, like you mentioned, you are a secondary education major. So, it's a little bit different than primary education, where you're actually housed in one of the other colleges. So, how did your class schedule kind of work being between the two colleges?
Not gonna lie, it was a little bit wild. So I double majored actually. So I have a biology degree and a Broadfield science education degree. So I had to balance getting my sciences done with the College of Science and my education courses done with the College of Ed. So sometimes I was going from an upper division science class to an education class to another education class to another science class. So it was kind of wild, but it was good. Got a good mix of the core science, so I know the content that I have to teach as well as how to teach it. So it's a good balance.
Okay, awesome. Well, what comes next? Do you have a teaching job lined up or anything good to go yet?
Yeah, so the day after I'm done student teaching, I start teaching secondary science at Yellowstone Academy, which is the school at the Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch. So I worked out there for a little bit, and their science teacher resigned, so it was perfect timing for me to just slip in and get that job. So that is where I'll be teaching.
Awesome. That is amazing, Brenna. Congratulations. Super excited to
Thank you.
see how things go. Once again, thank you to Brenna for checking into us, and we'll send it back to the studio.
So a fun fact about Brenna is that she was actually offered that position that she's heading into before she was even done with student teaching. Like, she was still doing her internship, and they were like, so can we offer you a job? Which is so cool. So that sometimes happens as well. So something to like get excited about and look forward to. But we'll jump into talking about our student support a little bit. So we have a variety of supports that are available for you as a student, starting with our Yellow Jacket orientation, which is often put on by our office in combination with a few other offices, but really to get you here, get you set up, you know, with your university card, your U card, make sure you kind of check all the boxes and are getting squared away with finances and all that fun stuff. And then first year experience is a class that's offered through the advising department that really just helps to get you oriented throughout that first semester. We have an academic support center where our tutoring and writing center and supplemental instructors and some of those pieces will come through. TRIO and student support services, as well as disability support services. We have our Yellow Jacket emergency pantry here on campus. So if, you know, finances are a little tight, they have toiletry items, school supplies, some food, like pantry items. So it's always a really great place to stop by if you just like need something in a pinch. We have our student health services here on campus. So it's kind of like the nurse's office, but a little bit more, a lot of bit more actually, but that's probably most helpful in understanding what that resource would be. It also houses our counseling center and some of those fun pieces as well. We have our Native American Achievement Center here on campus, primarily for our Native American students, but also they have a house here on campus, and so if you're looking for a place to hang out, get some studying done, meet some people, make connections, that's a really great resource there as well. We have our military and Veteran Success Center. And then last but not least, we do have our Career and Employment Services office. And we're going to kick it to a video with, again, Kristen, our director, is interviewing Becky, who's actually the director of Career and Employment Services. So a couple of directors meeting to discuss your future.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us today. I am here with Becky Lyons, the director of our of Career and Employment Services to talk a little bit about education. So Becky, tell us a little bit about what Career and Employment Services is and what you guys do at MSU Billings.
Yes, hello. In Career and Employment Services, we assist students with getting connected with their careers. And so from the point even before you start college here at MSU Billings through even beyond graduation, we just help make sure that you get connected with employers, with opportunities, whether it be internships, occupational interviews, job shadowing. Maybe you're not sure what you want to do and you want to explore some areas, we can help with that.
That's amazing. So we know that you start before students are even arriving. You guys are willing and able to help them, which is amazing for this audience that is watching today. But what about our students that are graduating? I know you guys have some data and folks are looking at what they might want to study and explore. So can you tell us a little bit about what you learned from our graduates and what our graduates in specifically education are doing now?
Yeah, you bet. So for students in education, we are finding that when they graduate, their placement rate for those who are responding to our survey is at 100%. So those students are being placed and they're out there in communities, not only in Billings, but all around Montana, in North Dakota, in Washington, and they're working in elementary schools, they're working in high schools and middle schools, teaching those upcoming students.
Oh, that's amazing. So tell us, you talked a little bit about where students are working after they've graduated. What about students if they want to get experience while they're here, preparing for those careers after they graduate?
Yeah, you bet. So one really cool thing about education programs here at MSU Billings is that students are getting experience within their second year here through practicums. So they are out there, whether it's be at nonprofit after-school programs, working with students, or through their junior field experience or student teaching experience. They're getting a lot of that one-on-one connection with the school-age kids and exploring that this is their profession, this is their field, and they're excited.
That's awesome. So tell us today, someone watching that thinks education is the right career path for them and they're considering MSU Billings, what would be the next best steps for them?
Yeah, you bet. I would say if you know education is what you want to do and you're just not sure how to get there, reach out to us. We're here to help. And whether it's you're not sure, maybe you want to explore where can you work, then let us know and we can tell you school districts that have hired education students before. If you say not sure from the get-go what you should be doing with your resume while you're here, so get involved, be a part of student organizations, maybe be part of some leadership opportunities, and we can help guide you. So it all does not happen your last semester here. It starts when you begin here, and we can help you with all those steps.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for spending the time with us today. We're so fortunate to have you and your office on campus. Thanks again.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Becky and Kristen. Very informative to hear, how those things work out. So now we're just going to touch a little bit on what you get outside of, job and all of that. So MSU Billings, very affordable, lower tuition. And we actually have a Montana University cost comparative on our website. So definitely go look at that and kind of see what you're saving by coming to MSU Billings. But on the back end, our graduates typically have higher wage outcomes. So our university graduates earn on average about $4,400 more than the mean of other four-year public universities in Montana. So not only are you paying less to get all of this amazing stuff, but typically you're going to earn more on that back end. So why not visit or, come here. Yeah.
And for some, even with some of that lower cost, there still is some financial need. And so we just wanted to remind you that the free application for federal student aid is live. It's happening now. And our priority deadline for that is December 1st. Now, that is coming up really quickly, so you may want to use your Thanksgiving break to work on that. It does take a little finagling. You have to find tax returns from 2 years ago and some of those pieces. But we want to just remind you as well that if you've missed the priority deadline, it doesn't mean that that's all that there is. You can still apply after December 1st. There's plenty of opportunity for you there. We have the MSUB code listed there. It's 002530. You are able to select up to 10 universities or colleges. So make MSUB one of them. Additionally, if you're coming from outside of Montana, we do guarantee WUI. So what is WUI? The Western Undergraduate Exchange. So if you're a part of one of the Western states, so North and South Dakota, and then kind of scooting over Montana, Wyoming, and like down and west, that they are all guaranteed a reduced tuition. So it's not quite the out-of-state rate, but also as we are a state school, it's not quite the in-state, but you are guaranteed that at your application. So you don't have to apply for anything. It's not a scholarship. It's just a tuition rate that we're able to offer for you. Also wanting to let you know that our scholarship application is open, and the priority deadline for that is February 1st. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to throw those in the chat, or you can give us a call at 406-657-2888. We'd be happy to talk through any of that. But the really nice thing is that it is one scholarship application, and we here at MSU Billings are going to do the legwork of finding something that is right for you. So instead of you sorting through and trying to find something that applies to you, you apply, you make sure that you get your references in, and you'll want your references to be non-family members, but people that know you and can kind of speak to your situation. So we're looking at like teachers, coaches, maybe your guidance counselor, or someone who, maybe a boss, a supervisor.
Like outside the school who works with you pretty closely.
Yeah, and can just speak to who you are and talk a little bit about what your financial need is and just advocate for you. So there are a couple scholarships that are available similar to WUI in that you don't have to apply for it. We just will see that you're coming from certain schools here in Montana, and so that's the Yellow Jacket Excellence. So that is offered to students coming from specific parts of Montana. And then we have the Explore Montana Scholarship, and that is offered to students coming from outside of WUI, outside of Montana. That'll just take a little bit off of that out-of-state cost.
Alrighty, so thank you guys for sticking around with us. I know we're having some technical difficulties right now, so if you're still with us, great. This will be up very, very shortly on our webpage, so you can finish watching it then and come back and see the slides that we were referring to and all of that extra information. But before we go, really quick, some next steps. We are open for tours, so come visit us in person or online. We do have that option as well. And each month we're doing a $500 scholarship drawing through the end of December. So if you haven't signed up for a tour or a visit yet, do so and you'll be entered to win a $500 scholarship for next fall that you can then use for your tuition. Outside of that though, our application is open for next year. So if you are ready to apply, please do so. But until next time, thank you guys for joining us and we will see you soon.